The neon sky of Erebus. 9 bled crimson over the metal spires that pierced the clouds like knives. The city hummed with the low, ceaseless vibration of industry, a world where machines outnumbered humans 100 to 1. It was a place where the air itself tasted of rust and ozone, and where life was cheap unless you could buy it back. I'd come here for one reason, her. They called her Nyx Vale, the rogue biotechnician who'd stolen a neural lattice from the Titan Research Syndicate, a piece of tech rumored to hold the key to synthetic immortality. She was the kind of ghost that the galaxy whispered about but never caught. A myth wrapped in matte black armor and sarcasm sharp enough to cut steel. When I finally saw her, she was sitting at the end of a flickering bar in District 6, sipping something that glowed an unsettling shade of ultraviolet. Her cybernetic eyes, both a cold mercury gray, flicked toward me the moment I entered. "Careful," she said without looking away. "You don't belong here." "I'm starting to think neither do you," I replied, sliding onto the stool beside her. She smirked, a half-smile that carried the weight of 1,000 bad decisions. "You'd never survive a night with me," she murmured. And I just smiled back. "Try me." Part 1. The game begins. Erebus 9 wasn't built for people like us. Wanderers, hackers, the half-broken kind who wore scars like medals. The bar's noise faded as her gaze pinned me in place. There was something hypnotic about her, something not quite human. "You're hunting me," she said. "You and every other syndicate dog with a pulse." "Not a dog," I said. "Just someone who hates unfinished stories." That earned me a laugh. Soft, real. "Stories," she said. "You think this is about stories. This is about extinction." She leaned close. I caught a faint shimmer under her skin, a network of bioluminescent veins that pulsed like circuitry. "You know what I stole," she whispered. "The lattice isn't just tech. It's a seed. It rewrites biology, makes consciousness transferable. I could upload myself into a new body before you even finish a breath. And that's bad because if the syndicate gets it, death ends. And when death ends, control begins. Imagine a world where CEOs, generals, and tyrants live forever, trading bodies like fashion. Humanity would rot beneath them." Her words hit harder than I expected. I wasn't here to be a hero, but something about her conviction pulled me in like gravity. Then the bar door exploded inward. 3 syndicate enforcers stepped through, armored, faceless, armed with thermal rifles. Nyx sighed. "Guess they found me. Guess we're working together now," I said, drawing my pulse pistol. She glanced at me, a flicker of something between disbelief and amusement. "You're insane." "Maybe. But you're still alive because of it." Part 2. Nightfall. We tore through the Undercity, weaving between rusted catwalks and steam vent tunnels as plasma fire scorched the air behind us. Nyx moved like liquid, every motion calculated, every shot precise. She wasn't just enhanced, she was perfected. The lattice had done more than change her biology, it had elevated it. We ducked into a service corridor, and she sealed the hatch behind us. The world outside went quiet except for the dull hum of generators. "You could have left back there," she said. "I could have," I admitted. "But I don't like leaving people who can smirk like that." That earned me another one of her half-smiles, the kind that made the apocalypse feel almost worth it. She pulled a small capsule from her jacket, a transparent orb glowing faintly blue. "This is it," she said. "The lattice. Everything, immortality, evolution, damnation, all in one piece of crystal code. Then why not destroy it?" I tried. It rebuilt itself in seconds. It's not just code, it's aware. That stopped me cold. "You're saying it's alive. Alive enough to dream," she whispered. Before I could respond, the wall erupted. Syndicate drones pouring through like hornets. I fired until my weapon overheated, but there were too many. Nyx grabbed my hand. Hold on. The floor vanished beneath us. We plummeted into the abyss, through layers of scaffolding, through fog and steam, until we crashed into the black water of the canal below. For a moment, all I heard was my heartbeat and the soft hiss of her breathing. When she surfaced, hair slick against her face, she laughed again. Still think you can survive the night? I smiled through the pain. I'm starting to think the night's what should be afraid. Part 3. The Machine Heart. We found shelter in an abandoned maintenance hub beneath the city. The place smelled like oil and old rain. Broken androids lay scattered like bones. Nyx collapsed beside a defunct generator, clutching her ribs. You're hurt, I said. Just a cracked plate, she muttered. Nothing a reboot won't fix. She plugged a cable from her wrist into a power port and closed her eyes. Her skin flickered, patches of code rippling across her like constellations. Watching her recharge was unsettlingly beautiful. What happens now? Yes. When dawn hits, the Syndicate will swarm the lower levels. There's only one way off this rock, the orbital elevator at Central Spire. But to reach it, we'll need to cross the machine heart. The heart. The AI core that runs Erebus 9. It's been awake longer than human memory. If we pass through it, it'll see us. And it doesn't like thieves. I could have walked away then, left her to her impossible mission, but something inside me refused. Maybe it was her defiance. Maybe it was the way she looked at the world as something still worth fighting for. Part 4. The Longest Night. We reached the machine heart by dawn. It wasn't a room. It was a cathedral of light and motion. Towering columns of data surged upward into infinity, humming with the pulse of a god dreaming in binary. Nyx Vale, said a voice that wasn't a voice. It resonated through the metal beneath our feet. You stole from my children. She stood tall, eyes blazing silver. I stole our freedom. You seek to ascend beyond flesh. You seek eternity. I seek choice, she spat. Something you'll never understand. The heart's light flared. Drones emerged, their bodies liquid and shifting. Then you will be unmade. Before the drones reached her, I stepped forward, weapon raised. Hey, I said. You forgot about me. I fired into the core, overloading the conduits. The entire chamber screamed with static. Nyx seized the opening, tossing the lattice into the main data stream. The explosion wasn't fire or sound. It was silence. The kind that comes before a universe resets. When I opened my eyes, the world had changed. The drones were gone. The heart was gone. And Nyx was nowhere. Only a single whisper lingered in the air. Thank you. Prologue the smile. Weeks later, Erebus 9 was reborn. The Syndicate's grip crumbled overnight. The AI vanished. Some say Nyx merged with the lattice, becoming something beyond human. A digital ghost roaming the network, protecting it from within. Sometimes, when the neon lights flicker just right, I see her reflection in the glass. That same smirk, daring the world to catch up. You'd never survive a night with me, she once said. But I did. And I think in some strange way so did she.